Hello everyone, just a quick reminder, you can now support us on Patreon. You can get this show and all our shows a day early, and lots of other goodies by supporting us. If you like what we do, and you want to see us do more, you can find us at patreon.com/StudioOmegaYT. Thanks for your time, guys. Before we get started, I just want to remind everyone that this episode is brought to you by our patrons like Audimus X and Baba Meow. Thanks for your support, guys.
Thank you.
喜べ少年
That's right, rejoice everyone! Welcome back to Let's Talk Fake Grand Order, your one-stop shop for everything related to salt, waifus, and that other thing that's in our thumbnail. I am one of your hosts. I am the Knight, Omega. With me as always is my other host, Vengeance, Lucky.
I knew it was coming. Hey everyone, I hope everyone is enjoying Fate Grand Order, also known as Content Overflowing. Just so you all know, we are going to be talking about current and future events for both JP and NA, so anyone not wanting spoilers should just go make counterfeit pieces of art, or real ones. Your choice.
Let's talk about artists and stuff. Well, I hope you have some thoughts about that, because I have some thoughts about that when we get into the event later. Yeah. But yes, content is overflowing. We have a lot of new content to talk about, which has been coming out to both JP and NA.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we'd mentioned what China or Korea servers are doing, but I don't see a lot of their news up. I don't know if they're, like, more insular or whatever, just I'm not exposed to it. Though, we do like to occasionally check in with how madcap Korea is. Blazing forward.
Yeah, usually when we hear news from the Chinese, it's usually not good news.
That's China.
Yeah, that's China.
Woo! Alright, well, let's answer an important question before we get into our content matters. Where the fuck is Ron?
Personally, I'm not sure, but he's probably descending into his own gacha hell.
Yeah, he apparently met my Dissidia twin, because that's what he's been doing. He's been playing the Final Fantasy gacha game. Alright, well, I don't think there's any real business we want to get at. Well, okay, I will say one thing. It's not in the show notes, but I figure this is a good part of time where we're doing our intro stuff to insert. But friend of the show, Voice of St. Quartz, he has recently started his own Patreon, so go ahead and check that out. It's at patreon.com/quartzvoice, I think. You know, if you like him and want to go throw some stuff at him, that's good. Yo, Voice, it's really easy if you want to, like, throw some of the advertising back at us for Patreons to share with each other. Just saying.
Does Quartz... Oh yeah, Quartz does listen to us. I forget about that sometimes.
Yes, you forget sometimes. That's why he came on the show and talked for 2 hours. In all seriousness, if $5 wasn't a big chunk of our Patreon budget at the moment, I would love to also support him to get access to whatever he thinks bloopers and extras are. Having talked with him unfiltered and unscripted for like 2 hours. But yeah, we'll see. I'm a little glad considering how many bajillion more subs and views he has than us, that last I checked, he's only at like a little over $100 with 8 patrons. Sure, that's only after a couple days, but still. It's...
Yeah, he just gotta get the word out. He'll probably make himself a nice video or something, or add it to video to add to...
Yeah. But yes, obviously, you know, don't just support us, support our friends.
Yeah.
And then their friends support us, and we build a big support network. Speaking of support...
we become one megacorp.
Shh, Lucky, we're not supposed to talk about that. Phase 3. Speaking of support, let's check in with everybody's favorite kohai, Mesh.
Senpai, 起きてください.
That's right, it's time for Wake the Fuck Up Senpai, our regular segment for Pro Tips.
I'm gonna take this one.
Yeah, I was about to say, do you want to read this one?
Yeah, I'm gonna read it. Just letting people know, though I am totally the last one who should be saying this, but FGO is indeed just a game, and whatever happens in it, you shouldn't let it affect your life overall. You'll win some, you'll lose some, so don't hate the winners and don't mock the losers. Remember Rule 0. Don't be a dick.
Yes, that is in fact both Rule 0 and Rule 4 on our Discord server. Don't be a dick.
Yeah.
Alright, well let's move into maybe why you did this particular pro tip. Let's talk about Records from the Throne, our regular achievement topic. You wrote your bullet point first, so you go ahead and go, Lucky.
Yep. Well, I had to write it before I forgot everything I got.
That's a good point. You rolled a lot.
Because after spending $500, I spent 560 to be exact. I achieved Jalter. I got one. I got my Jean Alter. In addition to that, everyone, take a moment. I also got Ranma, 2 Dions, Arjuna, Emiya, 2 Elizabeths, Martha, Nursery Rhyme, 3 Helena, Frankenstein, Beowulf, Cat, and Jean. Also over in the CEs, I also got the Ideal Holy King and 2 each of 500 Year Grudge, Another Side, Kaleidoscope, Limited Zero Over, and Prisma Cosmos. We did some math on that, and I pulled flat even for all my rolls.
Yep,
I didn't do
statistical average.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to hear someone not a statistical average? Well, I did stream it like I said I would. It's recorded. It's archived on our channel. So go ahead and check that out. It'll also be in the end card, if you want to be sure. But, yeah, I may have scored Jalter on my first 10 pull. Completely, blowing out the several people who were in the chat when I did it, including Lucky.
Yeah, more on that in a minute.
Yeah. So then I did what I said I would, and I immediately switched to, rolling for, well, not immediately. I gave it, because it was literally my first 10 pull, I gave it one more spin to try and get event CEs, and I didn't really get anything, so I moved on to the Maeve banner. I got NP2 Mary, I got Beowulf, Rhymes, Theno, Carmilla, and I also got my own Formal Craft, Fleet, and Fragments of 2030. And I got quite a few copies to push up some SSR and SOCEs I already had. And I did get 2 event CEs. I didn't get Maeve, but unlike Lucky, I did this with 240 St. Courts free-to-play. I didn't have to dip into my PayPal account, which I was thinking about.
And so with that, we're going to go right into, not all the world's evil, but damn close. Because, like, originally, like, this is what I did. Like, back during Christmas, I started saving up for, Jean Alter. You know, I just put a little money away here and there. Because I had my Tamamo fund, and I had my, Jalter fund. My Jalter fund made it up to $400. I didn't get her in that $400. And then I'm just like, oh, well, let me go hang out with him again. I can, you know, commiserate with him when he doesn't get it.
Nope.
No, not even because, not even, you know, like near the end. No, his first attempt, he got it.
I think it was like my second it wasn't the first card, but it was like the second or third card.
Yeah. So, and I, like, the way I describe it is I went full riot. Because I said it in chat like several times. If he gets it, I'm going full riot. I never specified what full riot was, but when it happened, I knew exactly what it is. I went and dipped into my actual money, and I started buying quartz again. I completely went over budget. Like, I have to go put in like at least 3 days of extra work to make up for that. Kids, don't let your friends gotcha emotionally. I'm not having, like, buyer's remorse, per se, but, because, you know, I did, like, put a cent away, but, like, that extra 160 I spent,
You think, you're looking at it, and you're like, did I really want to spend this extra cash?
Yep.
But hey.
But Jalter is a cute and a soon.
Oh, yeah, no, she's great. Like, a lot of people were like, you know, some people were heard during about the gameplay aspects, which, by the way, maybe it's because we're not yet in an era of Merlins, but I mean, she's a pretty hard hitter considering she's doing neutral damage to everything.
Mm-hmm.
But she's also, at least at the moment, she's a little squishy, a little fragile.
Yeah.
Easily broken. Or maybe that's just because bicorns are in fact assholes. Because I don't know about you, but the bicorn would never stop bullying Jean Alter. Always hits her like almost at least once, sometimes with a crit, and I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah, my Jean Alter's only at level 56 right now. She only has 8.7k HP, and her attack's at 10k though.
71 for me. Yeah, I've been going a little whole hog. We'll talk about that more when we talk about our impressions of the event. But no, I really like her. I don't know if she'd like me because I don't. Whoa, surprise cough. Sorry about that. I know I don't like the cough on mic, but I told this in chat that she probably would have stabbed me by now, because when I got her Bond 2 line, I literally laughed, because it is very cliche. She is literally like, geez, why did I even listen to your summons anyway? I'm like, oh my god, you're so precious. You're so soon. Alright, let's move into Skelegorams, because we will want to talk about the event. But we have big news. As you hopefully have been following the show, Lostbelt 1 Anastasia happened. There's a banner and details. There's a lot of details. So, there's a new Mystic code. I believe it's free with the update. It's the Chaldea Arctic uniform, which is an advanced version of your original Chaldea uniform. It has a heal and remove defense debuffs, an attack plus, and NP plus, and a one-hit evade, which will sit for 2 turns, or 3 turns. Oh, what's your target?
I find it hilarious how it's designed as an Arctic uniform, but the female still has a skirt and knee socks.
Yeah, but it's
I guess
black
that
now.
I guess that absolute territory protects you from the cold. I guess I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I believe Mash has a big fluffy coat in some story sprites now. Like she got an Arctic coat, and you're stuck out there in your skirt and knee socks. The back button is now in. We talked about it last week, but it's actually in now. As is the CE update. The CEs have been replaced with all new ones. The 1 and 2 stars have been replaced with all new ones. Which are...
I forget, did they just replace the sprites, or they replace the effects, too?
They replaced the effects. They're all new effects. They are interesting. Hopefully they'll be a little bit more useful than a lot of, like, generic stuff the old ones did. But let me go look up some examples real quick. While I'm waiting for that to load, I will also mention 1 and 2 star servants got updated backgrounds. So that's kind of neat. They've got some new looks to them that are a little more detailed. Let's see. So, for example, one of the new 2 stars is called Dark Sky. It increases your death resist by 5%, max 10%. There's another one called Deception, which increases your debuff success rate by 3 to 5%. And where's one of the ones I really liked? Strife just straight up increases your attack by 2%, max 4%, and then there's another one which increases your damage, I think, by like 30%, and then 30 flat, and then 50 at max. There it is, Disconnection. Oh no, Disconnection reduces your damage by a flat 30, and then by a flat 50. So, they're interesting. I don't know if they're really good or bad, but they're interesting now.
Well, if you're trying to get those high-tier servants in there, you could put that little CE in.
Let me see if do they have the actual new art for Shakespeare? Yes, they do. Okay, so like Shakespeare, for example, is in a library with books and some other like redrawn backgrounds. Mash got some animation edits for story stuff, and actually, this is animation edits but it's a whole new skill set, and you can switch between the two.
Oh wow!
Obviously, this is for story reasons that we won't get into as to the like hows and whys, but yes, she now has a slightly different niche. I think she can do, like, buster improvements and a different kind of, like, invincible stuff. I haven't really looked into it, because, spoilers, like, we can't talk about it in too much detail anyway, but whatever.
Blame Lucky, he avoids spoilers.
2 new mats are introduced in this chapter. We've got Eternal Ice, or possibly Permafrost. I think Eternal Ice sounds a little cooler, not as real. And I think its full title is, like, Volatile Oscillation Gunpowder, so I wrote it as Oscillation Gunpowder, but literally it's magic gunpowder. There are new skill icons for some of the passives, so like Divinity's not just a weird like explosion thing now, it's got like an actual symbol and some stuff.
Oh, nice.
We got a rate up on new servants, so you've got your 5-star caster Anastasia. She's a permanent servant, not a story lock and not limited. Is permanently in the pool. I believe all of the ones on rate up are actually. We've got Atalante Alter, which is an SR
also
Berserker.
known as Jalter?
Yeah. The official Let's Talk FGO terminology, as stolen from our fanbase, is Jalter. Or possibly Alter.
10 out of 10 tragic heroine. No, actually, no, she's 11 out of 10 tragic heroine.
Oh, yeah, no, she's full-blown. Like, basically take all the sad stuff about Atalanta and then put it as the entire core of her character, and also make her extra angry cat. But we also have a 3-star caster, Avikeberon. And a couple of new CEs. We got, like, Light of Intellect, which features Avikeberon and his master from Apocrypha. And we got the Final Narrator, which features Fran and Kalas from Apocrypha. And Basking Under Sunlight, which just has Fiore from Apocrypha. Sadly, no Chiron in the picture. But yeah. And also, there's actually it's not in the notes, but there's a CE you get, a 4-star CE you get for completing the story chapter. There's no servant, but you get a new CE, which is kind of interesting. Alright, let's see. I think that's all our news. So, do you want to dive right into our DaVinci impressions and then do Lostbelt 1 servants later, or do you want to do the Lostbelt servants first?
Well, you're going to be taking over, like, talking most of the Lostbelt servants. So, I guess that depends on more if you want to talk a lot now or talk a lot later.
I'll do it later. Let's jump into DaVinci, which we have titled DaVinci Impression / Jalter Salt, which I really wanted to make it Salter, but that doesn't make as much sense in or out of context.
And yeah, I'm pretty sure there was plenty of salt because Jalter has pushed FGO to top grossing app on Android for RPGs. Number 11 overall and number 5 on the Apple Store? Question mark overall? The list also includes stuff like Netflix.
Yeah, the screen cap specifically I saw was like Netflix is the number 1 grossing, YouTube is like the number 2, and stuff like Spotify and other, like big paid apps you can get. So I don't know if it was supposed to be an overall or was it different, but big sales. Number 11 overall top grossing apps. Like, period.
Yeah,
on Android.
Shiokawa is in Japan laughing maniacally.
So,
with Lostbelt and DaVinci. Oh yeah. It is raining.
Oh yeah, no, it's big money. I guess I remember I joked about how they were saving their money, kind of. I mean, they still did the Saber Wars rerun, which obviously a lot of people probably did throw some revenue at because MHX rate up. But this is a big seller month, a way to start this in, basically. And in Japan, they're going to have the Apocrypha collab, and we're going to have the Zero collab. So it's going to be a big month for FGO. I hope that kind of pushes through some stuff with JP to do stuff over here. As we have heard and reported straight from Albert's mouth, Japan decides all that stuff. So they need to see that we are like here and paying attention, and there would be more downloads, more buys, more attention if the game started speeding up the quality of life up.
Quality of life.
Which,
please, thanks,
guys. We're number 11 overall on Android. Please, I bet you if you when your next banner comes and you do some of that quality of life stuff that makes people want to jump over here, you'll get bigger numbers. You'll get bigger hits. We'll get there. So let's talk about the actual event, because we've been playing the story a little bit by data, and of course you can check out me playing it through on the channel. So if you want to see me die all the time, because seriously, the comedic timing is great. I wrote this in notes. I am dead. DaVinci has killed me. She straight up murdered me.
Yeah, the thing about DaVinci is like she's kind of been like a background character a lot, but now that she's in the forefront. And
she's in the main story chapters. She's usually a foil to Roman, to Dr. Roman, where like Roman will be mostly useless about something, so DaVinci will either kind of play the straight man to be like, "Oh, you're useless," or actually give us exposition that she has for some reason. But in this, she takes front and center in the personality, including
she has some great fucking lines.
I joked about this. God. Apparently, she has the summon all servants alarm button in her workshop, and I'm like, Who decided that? Who thought that was a good idea?
DaVinci did.
Clearly. And it doesn't. It's also, I guess, it's not a big deal because guess what? Fucking nobody comes. Amiya only shows up because he was literally talking to him and he decided to tag along, and DaVinci won't let him leave.
I think it's great, though, that Amiya was started, because basically the event starts off with Amiya showing off his trace ability, which basically makes a counterfeit.
He talks about projection. Ironically, he's only in his second ascension, and he can't use projection yet as an NPC, which makes me sad every time. I'm like, can't do that.
Yeah, but if there's anyone you're gonna bring along, but with counterfeits, Amiya's the one. Also,
with some of the tropes we see in this story, he is also familiar with this stuff. But yeah, no. The event starts with, "Is your class by chance artist?" Great lines aimed at Amiya from DaVinci.
No.
Shilling the Mona Lisa CE, which isn't even in the story anymore.
Yeah, no, I think my favorite line is like, "Roman, I will straight up murder you."
Exactly.
And it's like, whoa!
And then she will too with her giant glove. It shoots fire.
Yeah. And it has a rocket. It has rockets.
I love it. I love everything about her. Guys, I'm dead. I'm doomed. I don't know. I can't hold back when the first anniversary happens. I can't stop. Somebody's got to talk me down off the ledge.
Like honestly, like a lot of like from what I understood from like JP players and stuff, like DaVinci really isn't something to get excited over. I'm like, guys, do you not see this wifey material? When she does her noble phantasm, she puts on glasses for no other reason, just to put on glasses. It's just like
to look smarter.
It's like, that's cute and useless. I love it.
Also, it gives you a great look at. We joked about absolute territory earlier. Gets a great look at that. DaVinci knows what she's doing.
Yeah, she does.
The skirt and the thigh-high boots. Talk about your golden ratios. Jesus. And just the dialogue's all
but no,
adorable.
like the writing in this event has been
so. Yeah, well, we're gonna spell it out in case you didn't catch on. It's Otome game cliches.
Yeah, it is.
I said this in tonight's video that I recorded. It won't be up probably a couple of days, I think. Let's see. When this comes out, when you were listening to this, I think it'll end up being the next day. It'll work out that way, the way I've recorded them. But I talked about how I like how this event, once you get to like this point, this day in the story, which I think is like day 5, like they're not even hiding that it's Jean Alter at the end. Like there's no attempt to hide it from you. You know, because she's the limited servant raid app. You know that she's going to be in the event. So we can say without spoilers.
Surprised that she.
Were you surprised she hasn't shown up to laugh at us yet? To be smart.
I'm also kind of surprised that apparently she's been making wishes to have a whole bunch of boys cater to her whim. Like,
she wished for her to be the center of a female harem genre story.
Yeah, because you start off with Alexander, who is the Shota.
Yeah, the cute younger boy from next door.
Yeah. Who was day 2?
I can look at it. I'll look at the list.
Because day 3 was Siegfried, who was apparently the celebrity who just happens to sit down next to you.
Mm-hmm. He didn't even say
that
either.
Have...
day 2 was
Arjuna,
Hector.
who is
fake Hector.
Hector! Yeah, he was the old man.
He was the uncle who was returned from overseas and is maybe not related by blood.
Yeah. Let's see here. Arjuna was the statistics science major. Arash is the kind humanities major. And then Castle Gill is the annoying dad who smells like
he's the annoying dad whose daughter is going through a teenage rebellious phase. And Gill's takes this
if that doesn't clue you off to who it is, nothing will.
He takes this perfectly well.
It's kind of like honestly, as crazy as Castle Gills is, like he's kind of like he kind of makes me give me like those Teach kind of feels. It's like he's just getting the feelings of you,
like, just mass murderer with tentacle book, you.
Yeah, it's like please.
Like, look. Well, I can't say anything to him because I haven't summoned him because he's a story lock. Thanks, delightful. But if I would, I'd be like, go bug Jean Alter. Just talk to her. Talk to the metaphysical child you created. But anyway, yeah. So should I spoil who's next? Who's tomorrow? Because this episode will be out that same day.
Well, yeah, we're gonna get tomorrow's like here in the next hour and a half maybe.
No, it's in the 8 o'clock routine.
Oh, is it okay?
Yeah. So today was just Gil's fake, but when this episode goes public, it'll be later that day by a few hours. Yeah. So we can mention the name of the servant, not what their personality is, because obviously we don't have an exact translation. Yeah. But it's gonna be Bryn. So get ready for all the jokes that launch that ship.
Yeah, like honestly, I didn't understand why they were shipped so hard. I really didn't. Now I know.
Now you get it, because she's gonna show up in the event, and she's gonna be the token Yuri route, I'm sure.
I'm okay with this.
Anyway, yeah. So that's the event of writing. Top tier. Like, especially all the counterfeit servant jokes are great.
Like how Siegfried was like, "No, I will not apologize."
Yes, I'm sorry, I have to fight you. Not with the fucking speed line zoom, and everybody is astonished. No, it's the comedic timing is perfect. The delivery is perfect every time. Also, in today's episode, today's story mission, you go to the Louvre, and Mash is like, "Oh, I'd love to come back here sometime," and you can say it's a date. Everybody picks it's a date. It's the easiest dialogue pick ever.
Yeah, it is.
She is immediately
cheers for charming Kohai.
I joked 404 Mash not found.
But then she'll try her best, because we have a precious charming Kohai.
Yeah, she will always. But I didn't write this down in the notes, but I kind of want to talk to you real quick about some of the deeper implications of this story, because I am so... well, I mean, I guess they knew that they would for this event, and I'm so glad they put Emiya in this, because...
for writing? So you can have that snark and deadpan, or just because, like, that...
No, yeah, I mean for the more serious stuff. Like, when they're constantly talking about, like, fakes and originals and counterfeits, I think the phrase, a fake can surpass the original has occurred several times.
Oh, yeah. Well, like, that's what I was saying back at the beginning. Like, Emiya is literally the go-to person you go to when you're talking about counterfeits. Like, if he had a king title, he'd be the king of counterfeits. The king of fakas.
And it's just, like, it's so great that he's there, because every time you see him pop up, you're reminded of what symbolically is going on with a lot of this dialogue. And he really seems to empathize a lot with the counterfeit servants, because he is an expert faker. But yeah, there's
honestly, like, if I had like played, if Emiya had not been in this, honestly, I think this would have a really, really different kind of feel to it, and would not have been as good. Like, honestly.
Yeah, no, I think
I kind of feel like
he's whether it's through dialogue or just philosophically, the fact that he's here to make you draw those connections really deepens this event. It makes it more than just a gag, because there are some serious themes here going on. They talk about, the passion of the artist, whether or not a counterfeit, it can surpass an original. They talk about most counterfeits are made with an excess of skill, not passion. But apparently the fakes that deeply upset DaVinci are
excess of passion, not technique.
So Jean Alter is not a good drawer, which makes sense because she is the evil clone of an illiterate peasant. But she's real passionate, real fiery.
Well, I say this actually comes into play, because a lot of people don't think about this, but how, because I'm an artist, I draw. I'm not going to say I draw well or excellent, but I can step out here.
I feel like every artist would say that, Lucky. As a person whose primary creative aspect is writing, God, no. Like, do you ask me if I write? I write a lot. Do I write well? Fuck if I know.
But this is a thing that a lot of people don't understand. In order to get good at art, you copy other people. You find a guy you like, you study their style, you mimic their style into a point where you feel like you can diverge and go off onto your own. Original styles, trust me,
Hell, I would argue writing is the same. If you want to write, you need to do two things. You need to read a lot, and you need to listen and observe people a lot. If you want to realistically communicate a story, you have to either draw from reality, or you have to draw from other people's styles that you like. And let's be honest, everything creative is stolen from somebody.
Yeah, so it's like how people are saying I'll never be as great as the old masters. It's just no, it's but that's not the point. You don't need to be as great as them. You just need to learn from them, because trust me, no one starts off drawing good. Right. No one.
Also, the old masters, they had a lot of practice. The jokes about DaVinci's manuscripts and stuff. Leonardo da Vinci had multiple sketchbooks and notebooks just filled with whatever the fuck he felt like doodling. Like the ornithopters and tank designs, Vitruvian Man, all that kind of stuff. A lot of that stuff wasn't commissions or big projects he did. That was just he dicked around with a pad and pen.
Mm-hmm. So it's you got to realize that being a counterfeit, being a faker, doing that is the first step into becoming something. I want to say amazing, something real. So when they say, a fake can surpass the original, yeah, that can actually make literal sense. If you get your start off by copying someone else and then move on to the step beyond them, yes, you are a faker who has surpassed the original.
I mean, honestly, I think that's even relevant to FGO. Loads of the artists for this game were fan artists who were hired for an official project. They got to officially do a servant's visual design or do craft distance arts. And have them included in a project. It's really symbolic, I think, to this. The other thing I really like about this is, hey, I don't really art specifically, not in a fine art sense anyway. If we want to talk about writing, I think I've written some artistic things in my life. Probably I have written some stuff where I sure feel like some of those college papers I wrote were likened unto an art because of I don't know what the fuck that was. It was something, but I said this before. I took 2 semesters of humanities courses, and a couple of other credits. I was that nerd who I took a short credit course on Dante's Inferno, complete with I got the book of Gustave Doré's illustrations of the Divine Comedy. So I don't art specifically, but I've studied a lot of art. Oh my god, there are so many references. DaVinci straight up compares Jean Alter to a fresco at some point, talking about how it is set in stone and will endure for a long period. Talking about different styles of art and themes. There's a lot of art imagery hidden in this story as well.
Mm-hmm. And that's I think that's another thing I think that speaks layers about the FGO writing is that they do things in layers. Because top layer is just a heartfelt heartfelt gag comedy. A layer below that, you got some serious discussion on on artistic values in the sense of it. And below that, you have like the distinction between like art and creation and whatnot. It's multi-tiered, and you know, you can go as deep as you want to with it and still get like an enjoyable experience.
And we will see what is more to come because the event's not done. So next week we'll probably have our usual little, you know, wrap up, talk about the event post. We'll also talk about how we're doing. We're doing all right. I've opened like 4, maybe 5 lotto boxes. No, let's say 3 or 4 lotto boxes on both sides. I like cleared out the lottos and reset like 3 or 4 times.
I'm not doing as good. Like, I think like drawing for Jalter like emotionally drained me. I've only cleared 1 box each.
Yeah, I'm in this. I got a lot of stuff. I think I said this on a video, but I haven't said this in like the show because the show gets way more views. But if you want to listen for little details, be sure to actually check out the Let's Play videos I do. But I've got 200 friend point pulls. We're gonna do a stream pulling for Angra Manu when the Fate Zero event comes out. Because I got a lot of friend point pulls. We're going to see what happens. I'll also probably get some 100 face Hassan in there, which will be okay. But anyway, yeah, no, it's I like the rewards a lot. I've already fed some servants some shoes. Also, I've noticed, hey, guess what? The event gives you things you need to feed your new Jean Alter.
The only thing I really need is the Bloodstone Tears.
Yeah, no,
I think I'm set for everything.
I think I have enough for her. I don't know. Mostly I'm talking about her skills though, because she doesn't use like gems at all. Unlike regular Jean, she's just like, skill 1 to 2, 10 fangs. You know, boom. Skill 2 to 3, 10 bones, stuff like that. So it's a little rough. I definitely want to clear out more of the event before I go spending on her skills, which is a shame because she's got a really good skill set. I've been experimenting with her synergy. Guess what? She works great with a lot of the servants I have that I like Mordred and Liz, because Dragon Witch.
When she gets up there, she's going to be hanging out with my Saber Alter a lot.
Guess what? They make a great fucking team, because they're both Buster and Charisma, Dragon Witch, stuff like that. They can both Buster steroid. Intuition's not great to generate stars, but it can give you a little bit of star boost to feed Jean Alter's self-modification. Because I will say this, in my experience, Jean's damage is very swingy. You'll go from, oh, wow, Jean, I really wish you'd done like an extra 1k of damage there, to, oh, that's dead already. If she crits big, because Avengers like to crit, and then if you use self-modification, that's like Star Gather and then crit strength up, it does a big deal. So, yeah, she's real good at what she do when she's doing it. But alright, let's see. Any other things we want to talk about in the events? I don't think so.
Farming ain't too bad. Like, honestly, like, if I was putting more into it, I'd probably be alright. Yeah. I wouldn't be, like, hurting myself.
I mean, there's a little bit of a learning curve getting used to some of the enemies. But otherwise, it's fine. Bicorns are dicks, though. Constantly bully my Jean Alter. Do not bull my angry floof. I will stab you. Much stab.
Oh my.
I just make Mordred hit him. She's level 92. And as soon as I can go... as soon as Jean Alter hits level 90, I think I'm going to pour some more of those gold embers into making Mordred level 94, because I've already given her the Grail. But then I got a lot of mouths to feed. Like, Jack's not up there. I got Tombo Cat on a ticket pull earlier. She's not up there. I got Beowulf to feed now, because I like Beowulf a lot. Rhyme, I really like Rhyme.
I spent the money for it, but man, I have a lot of servants I need to work on.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Yeah, you do. You better take good care of those, or I'll fight you. God. I'll find you. I'll find you and I'll fight you.
Well, like, just on my waifu side, I got freaking Fran now. I have Nursery Rhyme, Nightingale. Yeah, those are 3. Then I want to get Beowulf, because he's MP5 now. I got my 6th one when I did that, so I sold that. So I got a rare prism now. So
neat.
My Tommo Cat now is MP5, so now I have a Berserker Wave Clear and a Berserker Boss Killer. So I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Yeah, like, my strategy of rub some Berserker on it is now only going to get stronger.
My strategy is soon going to throw... You know how I usually throw Jeans at things? I've got 2 to throw now. And they complement.
I'm gonna make a eventual, like, when Christmas comes around next year, I'm just gonna make a party. This is gonna be called the Family the Ark, and it's just gonna have them.
Well, also, I'm gonna do the child trio, because I can do that because I've got Jack and Rhyme now.
Oh, you do? Oh,
yeah. And guess what? Supposedly they synergize very well, which is another reason why I want to level up Rhyme, because I want her to co-op with Jack. I feel a little bad for Carmilla. All that complaining I've done about how she never showed up because obviously because Liz was my first servant ever. She finally comes home and I'm like, but I got Jack. Don't worry, I'll get to you.
Still mine.
You're probably before Setheno in line. As much as I'm glad to have completed the Gorgon sisters, and hopefully that means we're on track to get Medusa Lancer and Gorgon later this year maybe. I don't know. That's gonna be a rough time because there's gonna be a Christmas gacha with Ishtar in it. That's a big pull for me, guys. Real important for me. But I think Carmilla, you deserve to be a space above Setheno. She's more just for completionism, not practical use. Though I do believe her Setheno's third skill can be quite useful for certain team comps.
I said, like, I got Carmilla, like, super early, and, you know, she carried me a lot for, like, my assassins, just because she has that female...
Yeah.
That, female-oriented buster single target MP.
And hey, guess what? There's a lot of high rarity, aka high strength female writers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but Jack kinda trumps that. Well,
for now anyway. There's a very real factor later once Carmilla gets her strengthening quest, whenever, that technically their base damage means that Carmilla is like slightly higher, but she doesn't have Jack's self steroid.
Yeah, she doesn't do crit chin like Jack does. Holy shit.
Also that. Jack is like stars. I have a 2030 now. Hey, guess what? As soon as I switch my support stand-up back, I'm going to be that guy with the Jack 2030 support setup. I know what people want because I know what I want. I also think it might be time for Jean to take a break and put Jean Alter with some kind of like buster enhancing CE in my front support slot. Not to brag, but just because, hey, guess what? I bet I'll get a lot of fucking friend points that way.
Yeah, like, honestly, I really want the extra slot. Because, like, for now, so like, it's just
especially I want it now because I've got 2 extra class servants. I'd love to put, like, maybe Jean or Jean Alter up front, and then put the other one in the other slot. Because, hey, guess what? They're both really useful. I want to advertise I have both.
Mm-hmm. I need an image of them, like, standing together with their flags crossed over each other, just saying, get some. I might draw this. I'm gonna write it on a note. Hang on.
Yeah, put it for later. Hey, maybe we can turn that into a graphic version of our Ruler in the Streets, Alter in the Sheet, Avenger in the Sheets.
I was thinking about that, but I was thinking about just having that be the flags crossed.
Something
I don't know.
Like that,
I'm still working on it. I gotta finish
the...
Yeah, I got like other things I gotta work on.
But yes, we are working on graphical tees at some point. We will be a real brand of things. I have business cards.
He does have business cards.
Yeah, we still need to work on that for you that say our name a lot and have lots of... Maybe we can do a joke giveaway. Yeah, no, I get that you're like, oh, my budget took a little bit of a tick lately. That's okay.
Actually, like, my paycheck was a lot more than like $100 more than I want, so I might go for it. Because I don't care what anyone says, like, I really should have had a business card to give to Albert. Just so he can, like, pull it out later and be like, oh yeah, these guys.
Yeah, we're a studio, we do lots of FGO stuff. We have an open microphone. We've done an interview episode before.
Yeah, we have.
Anyway, let's move on then, because we're at almost 45 minutes anyway.
Oh wow!
And we got more to talk about.
Take it away.
All right, let's talk about the Lostbelt One servants. We have 4 who are officially out. There are some more servants and servant looks who appear in the story. We're not going to mention them yet. I'm kind of curious to see if there's going to be a part 2 raid-up banner with maybe some new characters in it, but we'll see. So let's start at the top. Excuse me. Anastasia is another solid arts caster, as you might expect from an SSR caster. She is a quick arts buster deck. One of her skills gives her 1 turn in Vuln Pierce and arts up, and also enemy debuff down as an NP steroid. That's her Mystic Eyes of Clairvoyance. And yes, you may wonder, because this is the actual 20th century Anastasia. You might wonder to yourselves, gee, why is a relatively modern character a full 5-star? Well, that's because she's almost as much of an OC as an actual historical character too. Like they put a lot of Natsya versus lore into her. Like the Romanov family were mages, and her Noble Phantasm V is a elemental she contracted with before she died. So she is recorded as having it in the Throne of Heroes. Hence, she hits out of what you might expect from her weight class. She has her own charisma.
Also, she's top tier.
Well, yeah, she's fucking
She's
adorable.
top tier waifu.
She's adorable. I will not be disappointed in 2 years if I roll her while trying to fiercely roll Jalter.
Yeah.
Fiercely roll. We'll get to that in a second. She has a charisma variant called Freezing Charisma, which is also attack down for the enemy and attack up for you. And then she has a self NP charge, which is also has a 1-turn enemy stun possibility. She's got a multi-hit AoE arts NP, so she's got a decent NP spam. Her NP also lowers enemy defense and may skill seal. I hear some people say skill seal isn't good. I gotta say, I am not sure I agree with that, because enemy skills are sometimes real goddamn annoying. Real annoying. She has a very good territory creation. She's actually got the EX. And a new passive called Fairy Contract, which increases both her debuff resist and inflict. It's like magic resistance and item creation.
Oh, nice.
So she's basically a pretty standard SSR caster, but she's not limited like DaVinci is, and her skills are slightly more applicable than Scheherazade. So she's a decent addition. If you already have an SSR caster, like, don't go out of your way, unless you want her because you like her. But if you don't have a good, like, a hitter, an offensive SSR caster, she can definitely fill that niche for you. Also, like I said, she's adorable. She's got an interesting, like, slightly cold, slightly mischievous personality that I really like. Also,
I think she's more of the classic tsundere. Like, she starts off really cold to you and then gradually warms up.
Yeah, she's harsh, but then eventually she's like, "Hey, do you want some tea? You want to hang out?" If you want to drill down on her archetype, she is the princess type, the Ojo type, because she's literally a princess. So she talks about how she's not really used to serving or anything like that, or like, but she's willing to work with you, and it's very cute, and also a little sad because her life story is very sad.
Must protect. Give her hugs, pat her head, feed her biscuits.
Be careful about patting her head. She wears a crown. Also, V's a little creepy. He's real creepy. He's unsettling. And he shows up in her third ascension. But also, yeah, she's pretty baller in the wardrobe department. This is not one of those lose clothes as you go servants. I mean, for a second ascension, she like ditches the coat so you can see her bare shoulders, but mostly it's just getting more regal and more jeweled. But yeah, she's a lot of fun. It's gonna be interesting. Let's talk about Jalter. She's a crit monster. QQ Arts Buster. She has a crit enhancing passive and her own variant on Madness Enhancer, which is Beast Form, which is Buster Plus, and I think it's Star Gen Plus. So, yeah, she's got her own unique variant. Because she's not really Madness Enhanced, she is Animal Formed, because she's using her Agrius Metamorphosis. So her first skill gives her oodles of star attraction and a few stars to work with, but not a whole bunch, so be sure to bust out your 2030s, guys. Her second is her normal team quick buff from regular Atalante, which is good, because guess what? She's a quick focus. And her third gives her an evade button, and also increases her crit strength further. So there's your ounce of survivability. And then she has a big single target NP, which can NP seal and curses the enemy. Give her a little support and watch the damage roll in. Classic Berserker mentality. Only she's not big buster crits, she's her own crit gen, basically. Make sure she doesn't die, give her a little extra star gen. She'll do alright. Also, we talked about this, she is super sad face levels, like high amounts of, we already talked about how Atalante is kind of a tragic story. Alter is like all that. There's quite a bit of like self-loathing and destructive and self-destructive impulses in there. Though I think it's funny
like
that
she doesn't like, even at Bond 5, she's come to care for you, but she doesn't want to be close to you because she's like so much of a monster.
Yeah, she
like it's very sad. I'm like,
yeah,
I was just reading. I'm like, oh, my heart.
There is what I think is almost a funny anecdote that it literally says she will return to her archer form if you peel the pelt off. So just get out your knives and your chisel and chip off, and she can go back to normal anytime. Which I think is why she doesn't have Madness Enhancement, because it's a like always on Noble Phantasm thing.
Mm-hmm. She does have lines for both Jack and Jean, which I think is like on point specifically.
Yes, no.
Because if you've seen Apocrypha, Like, you know why? Because
Yeah,
that's the first time, that people have seen,
Mhm.
the
Yeah,
Alter
normal
form.
Atalante does not want to use the pelt, but Atalante Alter has used it because she is clearly in a bad mindset. So she is altered. That is her altered state. So she's definitely a little bitter about regular Jean's attitude, and she's concerned that Jack is there. But hey, Jalter, I got a Jack. I have many small children you can hang out with.
I saw an art piece of Atalante reading a book to all the small out of my heart.
Yeah, like I said, she's got a sad story, but she also is maybe a little less chaste than regular Atalante.
Yeah,
there's some dialogue about quote unquote training, and her attitude is a little more touchy feely, but also she might stab you.
She might. Make sure you. It says in the profile. Make sure you follow the rules, and everything will be okay.
Yeah, no. She is not necessarily a loyal character. She is one of those few characters who will straight up betray you if you go against her worldview. Which
Honestly,
is probably why
that's
she's
like a lot of
evil.
alters in general.
Yeah, and also a lot of classic anti-heroes, like Gorgon, Moriarty. Lots of people are like, the moment you are inconvenient to me, I will attempt to dispose of you. I might feel bad about it in some cases. And then there's also Amakusa, who is so lawful good. If you would go against his lawful goodness, he will maybe possibly stab you in the back. Or stab you in the front, you don't know. But yeah, there are some characters who, good or evil, are so affixed in their convictions that to go against them would be bad for you. In another Berserker terms, Kyo's another example. Do not lie, or you will die. I'm going to take a sip of my witchy throat. Also,
yeah,
as
but
you
as
can
you
tell
all
from
can tell, we are super hyped for.
Yeah, no, we love her.
Lostbelt.
She is. Oh my god. Also, as you can see in our thumbnail, LEWD crotch tattoo. That's her stage 3.
As I said, Twitter is exploding with art. Like, I've seen more art of the Alter than I think I have of Anastasia.
Yeah, well, that's I think to be expected. I said this before. Like, I wasn't sure if I'd start saving, but I like her design. It's got regal to it, and it's a real excuse for a lot of artists to draw very like beautiful, detailed pieces. But it's not necessarily like imagination provoking or like catchy. I don't think. Like, there are multiple variations of Atalante Alter. From like just a dark version of her dress to like the fur bikini mode she has when she does it in the anime, and also I think in the light novel illustrations. And then her third ascension form is like weird armor pieces just jutting out of her body with like these giant boar shoulders, and that's, like I said, got the slightly lewd tattoo and exposed navel. But yeah, no. There's a lot of great art and also a lot of joke art coming out about her. Really interesting. Before we spend too much time on this, though, let me check. Yeah, okay, we're within our time limit, I think, to talk about some more stuff. Evikebron is another basic caster. I called him like a brawler teamster. He's your generic slot in. He doesn't do anything particularly special. He's got decent territory and item creation. His first skill gives the entire team 3 turns of Buster and Arts up, so that's pretty good. His second is the basic self-charge, and his last acts as team insulation. Basically, it gives him a 5-turn buff where if he dies, the party gets 2 to 3 hits of invincibility for a few turns. So, he's kind of a support role, and then if you feel like, oh, he's going to go out, you can be like, alright, we'll pop this. If he drops, he'll insulate the rest of the team as we cycle in a new character. And then his NP is a standard Buster Sweeper, and it gives the party NP gain up for 3 turns. So even though he doesn't have an arts to NP spam, he can kind of lead into an NP spam comp. I think he's got solid composition, though he's a little scattershot. Like, he's a little too well-rounded, I want to say. There's nothing about him that necessarily stands out, but he's okay. He's a 3-star. I mean, he's neat. He's not like a pocket 4-star good, but he's okay. If you just want another Buster hitter, for a caster. I know casters do have that low damage multiplier problem, but Buster helps a little, and he's got a Buster up. And it gives him an Arts up, so it can, chain together. Right? Also, in the story, he's apparently pretty cool. He's a pretty cool dude to you. So it's very interesting to see him kind of go on. And his animations are all golems all the time. And then we have one more character. For the moment, we're calling him Lostbelt Avenger, or Tony. He's our story-locked 3-star. His name's not hidden or anything. It's not like an Epic of Remnant Servant, but because he's a story lock and some people are still playing through the story, we're gonna conceal his name for a little bit. We'll wait to see if they do like another story raid up with him or something, just to be safe. We don't want to like ruin a surprise for anybody.
I will say though, he is Persona as fuck.
Oh yeah, no. He's real Edge and real Persona. He's red and black. It's a great character design. I love him a lot. Same VA as Senketsu from Kill la Kill. So I'm like, yes, I need this guy. I need this 3-star Avenger. But yeah, he's a story lock 3-star. So that sucks a little bit. Let's at the very least, let's hope they start doing Lostbelt raid ups like they do for EOR and Singularities. So he'll be included in that as a raid up 3-star. So that'll be good. But he's got Q, Arts, Buster, standard Avenger passives. He has Innocent Monster EX for crit stars per turn, which also gives him a set number of critical enhancements. Basically, this is his gimmick. He gives you 3 instances of a buff or debuff over 5 turns. So when either 5 turns are up or 3 uses or 3 triggers are up, they go away. So he can enhance his arts a set number of times, 3 times over 5 turns, and then he can defense down the enemy a set number of times, which is very interesting. And then he's got a pretty standard arts AoE, damaging NP, which also makes the enemy more vulnerable to arts, but lowers the team's star gen rate, which means just stick a 20-30 on him like everybody else, or high-level revelation, or any other stars per turn. Just feed him stars so you don't have to gen stars. I think he's supposed to be crit/NP spam. He's at the very least arts focused. So, but we're working off a lot of Google Translate here. Stick him in an art support team, he'll do good. Also, he's really cool looking and has a very, very interesting backstory for a servant. Like, oh my god.
I know nothing about it yet.
Yeah, no. Well, I'm sure when it comes out, because it's, like I said, he's just a story lock. I don't know if his name's not hidden, we're just playing it safe because he is story locked. But you should definitely take some time to read about him. Oh man. It's real good. Let's see, what time are we at? Alright, we're not even at an hour, quite.
Sweet.
So real quick, the final Extella Link character is Charlemagne, again, as a ruler. Technically, Karl the Great, actually, which is another name for Charlemagne. Hey, guess what Charlemagne means? That's his name in German, so he's got a bit of a different look in this iteration.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's him. That's, I think, is really interesting. I didn't think they were going to do an OG, but they did, and they made it weird?
Yeah, like, honestly, like, I don't know how I feel about this.
First of all, I think you're right about talking about how a lot of these characters were added to Rival, because there was literally I don't know if it was a GIF or just an image series of, like, characters facing off, like Ku versus Skahawk, Artoria versus Lancelot, you know.
Yeah, so I thought, like, Amakusa was going to be brought in to be, like, to be that foil to John.
But no,
he's
foiling himself, maybe? I don't know.
I guess?
Yeah, I still think there are some weird character choice decisions, and while I would be slightly averse to paid character DLC, especially for, like, just an extra game like this, to just add, you know, it's not meant to be, like, a real sequel. It's a fun gameplay tack on. It's a 1.5 game, basically.
Yeah, because they have said they are working on, like, Extella 2.
Yeah, no, there's an actual Extella 2 storyline continuation.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I wouldn't mind if they wanted to add some more characters later, please, that people want.
Just give it a little bit. Soon we're going to have Extella fighting game.
I mean, a lot of people are going to like that. Also, a lot of people want Arxis to do it, because I think they do Melty Blood, right? Yeah,
they did Melty Blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember, Arxis is the company who does Guilty Gear and Blaze Blue.
Mm-hmm.
So
they also did both the Persona 4 fighting games, Arena, and they're doing a crossover game right now, which includes Persona characters and Ruby characters.
I think.
I'm
pretty sure they did.
Yeah,
so Arxis has a history with Fate franchise.
Yeah. And lots of other franchises. They make good 2D fighters. They could do us some justice.
Yeah, I believe they could.
Who worked on Unlimited Codes? That was the 3D fighter for PS2. Was that also an Arxis branch? Dunno. But yeah, no, I think it'd be real interesting to see. So we got some final business to talk to. Let's just roll through that before the show goes on too long. So step 1. I realized it's been a long time since we did a CE or a Servant Spotlight. So we're going to ask do people want us to do more CEs and servant spotlights? Because our audience has grown a little. And in case you forgot, basically this is where we pick a servant or we pick a CE and we kind of drill down on them. We talk about, who they are, what their rarity is, what kind of stuff they do, in a similar way to the way we talked about new servants. Yes, we also talk about their story, both their out-of-this-game story and in-game story, how we feel about them, some of their relations to other characters. And for CEs, we talk a lot about, the art design and, how useful they are and what they go with kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, it's fluff, it's tactics, it's all kind of stuff. So let us know if you want us to bring that back.
Yep.
We've done them before on major CEs, like K-Scopes and the 3, card enhancers. We've talked about MASH, we've talked about Artoria, we've talked about Tamamo before. We could totally, do a Jean Alter spotlight. And that's just it. That's just, I wanted to, because I see the segment all the time in our show notes, and I thought, hey, we should ask if people want to bring that back, because we haven't really had any pressure to do that.
Yeah, we usually have use it to fill in some time,
yeah.
But
we have had full shows lately, but you never know.
Yeah,
it could be a thing. And maybe it could be a votable topic, which reminds me, this is something I should mention. If you are one of our $5 and up patrons, there is currently a content poll out. You can pick a topic for this show or for bonus stage for this month. There's about a week left on the poll. I don't think anybody has voted yet. Lucky is our official tiebreaker. So basically, Lucky will tell me what he wants to do, and I will input the tiebreak because I can vote the poll too for some reason. Thanks, Patreon. There's no votes currently. There's going to be about a week left by the time we post this episode, and also that'll dovetail into our Patreon thing later. If you want to have influence on it, go ahead and back us for this month. You can get in on the poll right now.
Oh yeah.
And so maybe we'll see some more discussion-y type stuff there. And if nobody votes, then Lucky still gets to break the tie because it's a 4-way tie.
Yeah.
All right. And let's do master feedback first because that might be longer, even though the week is before that. So number one, I asked this question: do we need a PO box? So obviously, we to break character a little here, to break the kayfabe. We joke about shilling a lot, and yes, obviously, I do try to sell some of the stuff of our show, which, people have bought shirts, they've backed us on Patreon, so hopefully, we're getting across there as, marketable stuff. But we like to joke about that a lot, but I do know that some places do, they have P.O. boxes to receive, letters, gifts, or just, free stuff that people want to show and have us talk about. I've done some, unboxing stuff in the past, so I could do that in the future. Maybe Lucky would do it. I don't know. We'd sort that out. But I just throwing the question out there. Do we need a P.O. box? Are there enough people in our audience who might be interested in sending us little stuff and having us open it and talk about it, on a camera or something? Just a thought. And then, this is going to have to be real brief because we are getting long in time, but... So the Grand Order subreddit's been going through some stuff lately. We haven't really talked about it. We have been in a position to talk about it a couple times, but then it's kind of died down, and it's come back, and it's kind of died down. But I definitely think I want to go on the record about some stuff. And no, I'm not just going to shit-talk the subreddit or the subreddit mods. I will say this. So with the attempt to roll out rule changes, and then who likes what about rule changes, and so on and so forth, I think communication with your community is very important. I think all of the mods on the R Grand Order subreddit have said at this point, they've kind of screwed it up, and they have not communicated any of this well, and organized it well at any point, and it's kind of to be expected. They're understaffed, they're not paid professionals in this, right? They're just doing this because they ended up being the mod team, nobody pays them to do this, which is an important thing I think we have to think about, especially since technically we are paid to do this, a little bit. So let's not throw stones too hard. But in general, yeah, they've not done a great job about communicating this, and I kind of wanted to turn this into a note about community interaction and moderation, because a lot of people would agree that the mods over in Grand Order have not always done the best job here. What people feel like they're not doing a great job listening to the community or representing the community's thoughts. And in particular, some members of the pro-mod group have been, at least in my experience, childish, pretentious, rude. Lucky you probably haven't seen any of that because you don't troll through Reddit threads. But if you talk to a few of our community members who also are on the subreddit, they'll probably say the same thing. I don't think it's a great look for your mod team to be like, yeah, these are the guys who support us. Oh, I mean, some of the people on the anti-rules change side are also are being a little harsh. They're being a little mean about it. But some people are just genuinely like, guys, I don't think you're adequately listening to your community and taking steps to do stuff. You're just, doing what you think is a thing. And that's, I think, the important point I want to turn it into, is to talk about community interaction and moderation. We have a Discord. We like to harp on the Discord, because the Discord's great. It's fun. It's a great way to talk to us, fast back and forth. And not just us, talk to other community members really quick. People ask questions about FGO or other stuff all the time. We throw back and forth, anime recommendations. We share art all the time. Other stuff. We've got a dedicated channel, a text channel for other gacha games that we don't talk about on FGO. Oh, let's talk FGO, stuff like that. Which has been very helpful to Lucky, I think, in your setting up Grand Blue Fantasy.
Yep.
And some other people.
Yeah, even... right now, we're shilling other games, I got Omega, hooked on Girls Frontline, which isn't out yet.
Registered.
We are
so
talking about...
When that comes out, we'll definitely talk about it more. I don't know if we'll do a whole show on it, but...
probably not, but we'll enjoy it.
But we'll definitely think about
it. The new, is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon game?
A little bit of Fire Emblem Heroes. Stuff like that. Just we talk about lots of stuff. So, the Discord is good, but at the same time, I do not think that the Discord is an accurate slice of our fan base. We have, let's see... we have 22 offline and 8 online, or 9 online. So we got about 30 people in there.
We have 33, not including... Yeah, including everyone, including her phone.
Yeah. So, not to brag, because it's not anything to brag about, but, hey, some of our recent videos have been getting, 500, 600 views. Guess what? The Discord's a tiny slice of our viewer base. I think there are people who are still only in YouTube comments that aren't even on our Discord. So... I would never talk about broad-level, high-level stuff and mash out those details in Discord. I might invite people to talk to me on Discord to try and get their opinions heard faster, but if I was going to do something big, I would first announce it, and I would look to feedback first through the channel, whether that's, through comments, through, an email direct line to me, or on Twitter, whatever. I would look to feedback from the whole, and... Obviously, I think there are certain, we're not in this just to shill and be popular. We're doing this because we want to do this, and we want to make content that we like to make and find people who want to watch us for that reason. But we're also we're really open about changing our attitude to suit our fan base, to suit people who watch. If you're like, hey, I like your stuff, but it could be better if, we're totally open to that.
Yeah.
And if we could not accomplish something, we would totally be upfront about how and why. Which is, I think, the point I want to make. I want to use this as kind of a learning lesson, too. I don't think that the Grandeur subreddit, which is a shame, because we use it a lot. We like it a lot. I don't think that their mods have handled some of this stuff real good lately, and I kind of wanted to comment on it because we post our videos on Reddit. We talk about it a little bit. But we want to take that as an object lesson for ourselves and for other people who are listening. If you've got your own community out there, to... consider the whole of your community, consider what your community is actually centered on, and, try and address that proportionally. God forbid, the day I do not think that Lucky and I could handle moderation duties for our Discord, I would start looking for community moderators. The moment I think, God, I can't do this anymore just by myself, that's it, that's okay, I need some mods. I need some more mods.
I actually think we're really good with the communication on our Discord. Anytime we, open up a new channel, we don't just open it up. We, ask, hey, do you guys think we need such and such a channel? We get a little bit of feedback, and usually it turns out that we do need it.
Yeah, or we see a trend in another text channel, and we're like, okay, this could be split so that we could make a new thing, and then people could talk about it there, and they don't have to worry about being off topic. Though, if you weren't going to do what we're going to do for Meme of the Week in a second, I would say we just talk about how it's almost constantly a Don't Wake Daddy thing. People are always like, oops, sorry, Omega, we're talking in the wrong channel. I'm not that much of a hard ass about it, but it's kind of turned into a joke, which I do find amusing. The whole point of the channels is to let people pick channels, because you can mute specific channels, you can hide channels, or you could, focus on talking or reading one channel. So I don't want anybody to feel unwelcome because all of a sudden we're in, say, the Let's Talk FGO channel and we are talking about other gacha games, or we're in the anime and manga channel, and all of a sudden we're talking about not even necessarily directly anime-related music, or we're talking about classic film or something. You know.
It's really easy to tangent.
Because people were talking about it, we split, even though technically our art dump channel, which is called art dump, it's just, hey, you can put... Our normal rule is please don't spam art and image links, and then the art dump is post as many art and image links as you like. It's technically a not safe for work marked channel, because art can be, but because of the nature of some art that was getting posted, we split another channel, which is called Hella Not Safe for Work, which is just, hey, if you ever have to think to yourself, is this really not safe for work? Post it in Hella Not Safe for Work. Anybody who doesn't want to deal with that, just mute it, don't look at that channel, don't go in there, and it's fine. You can talk about anything you would think, gee, is this really not safe for work right now? And then, hey, if you're in Discord, you know. If you're at work, don't go in Hella Not Safe for Work. It's a containment thread because people actually brought it up and were like, hey, is this, like, within the scope? And I'm like, okay, I can make a separate channel where we can, like, scope all that in and stuff. And that's how it worked. You know, we started talking a lot about music that ended up there. You still haven't figured out how to get me out of that. Mm-mm. Yeah, so I just thought, especially since, hey, guess what, on our Discord we have had a couple users who also use the subreddit talk about it. I figured, hey, let's take this time to take a comment. We'll put out some stuff to our things. Like I said, I don't want to throw stones at the Reddit mods necessarily. I do think they need to alleviate the pressure, and they need to draw some lines a little better about the subreddit versus the Discord mods, because it really feels like those two things have become separate communities they share membership but do not necessarily share cultures, which is a very important thing to be aware of.
Studio Mega is just making our position known.
Yeah, we're talking to our viewers, and also, like I said, I thought it was a good time to just get on the record about some of these subjects and say, hey, here's how we feel about this if you ever have this question for us. Yeah, and that's that, I think. Let's do meme of the week real quick, and then we'll outro. Because my nose is very itchy.
So meme of the week is back to me and my going full riot. So, it's simply titled, Vengeance is My Cat. Because Omega pointed this out after I had cooled down from my full-on rage drawing Jalter, that because I hadn't prepared a proper catalyst, that maybe... Which,
by the way, I did. I used a catalyst first roll.
Yep. And so what had happened is I became so filled with rage and vengeance that Jean Alter keyed into that and then came home. And then I thought about it, I'm like,
let's be fair. You were literally rolling to spite me. You would have rolled to spite me more, but then you goofed up and you rolled on the Jean Alter rather than the Maeve banner.
Yeah, because I had enough to make one more 10 roll, and I was going to see if I can get the 1-up and get Maeve.
Buddy, you really didn't have to. You've got 3 Helenas, a Rama, and a Fran. You've already won. You won ages
Lucky
ago.
is a person who believes in the proper amount of force at the proper time, and sometimes the proper amount of force is complete and utter annihilation, alright?
Can you tell Lucky has worked for the U.S. military-industrial complex?
Mm-hmm. Because, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, Omega's like one of my best friends, but once in a while, friends gotta fuck with each other. It's gotta happen.
In this show, we have long established our slightly acerbic dynamic, going back, way back. I think it was like the second episode where because you were salty about the fact that I pulled regular Jean, going all the way back, I literally gave her summon line on air just to make you more salty.
Yep. So it's like people don't worry about we're actually like antagonistic towards each other, because it's all good fun. But sometimes, once in a while, you just want that goddamn satisfaction of getting one over. And that's what brought Jean Alter home.
Spite.
Spite.
What brought Jean Alter home for me was I'm covered in dragons. Just covered.
All my dragons are downstairs. They're too far.
I did it right at my computer desk, where guess what? All my dragons are.
I need a new desk.
He says he needs a new desk.
Yeah, if you go on my Twitter, you can see it, because I posted a picture of me playing all my gacha games at once. Literally.
Okay, we're going a little long, but I think we will trim some of that out in post. But real quick, merch feature. We have a new iteration of the Astolfo Shirt, intended to be higher quality. Lucky did the touch-up art. I have put it in there. I've chosen
higher quality
material, so it's slightly more expensive. It's like $1 extra, but it's hopefully a higher quality shirt. The art is more clean. So if you were thinking about it but weren't sure yet, go ahead and go for that. That'll be linked in the description. And yes, please make us happy. Buy shirts. And that, I think, is the show. Clocking in at a slightly extra hour and 15 minutes right now.
Oh, jeez.
So if you like this video, give it a like. If you have any comments about this video, leave them in the comment section down below, or check us out on our community Discord. That link is also in the description. And of course, if you are new here and have not already, please subscribe, and don't forget to click the little bell for notifications so you can always keep track of us. The only other way to keep track of us as we post content is to support us on Patreon. You can get this episode early in audio format for just $1 a month, and a month has just passed, so you don't have to pay us for a while. Woo! Always good. Always a good point. Pay us future money. It's the future use problem, as we like to say. Yeah.
Man, don't undersell future. When they become present you.
Yeah, Lucky knows all about future. Trust me, I know about future me's problems a lot. Like I said, I've been to college. You leave a lot of landmines for future you that way. And that, I think, is where we'll end the episode. Say hi to future yourselves, listeners, and we'll see you in the future episode.
Let's go.